finding it really frustrating that you overeat? You want to be healthy, you want to lose weight, you want to be fit, but for some reason you just cannot stop eating, and eating all the wrong foods as well. So today we'd like to share with you those causes of why you overeat, because the fact is that nobody eats because they want to be overweight, they want to be unhealthy. Overeating is a symptom. Overeating, and particularly in junk food, helps to release those feel-good hormones like dopamine and serotonin. So why is it that you need those hormones? Here are 10 causes of your overeating, and we really hope that this helps.
One of the most common is self-medicating due to a past issue. At some point in your life, you've turned to food as a crutch. The past issue is probably resolved, but you carry on eating.
Yeah, kind of an emotional pain from the past that you're self-medicating in the present with food. Number 2 is reward. So what we mean by that is that when you were a kid, you might have been given chocolate or cake or treats as a reward for having been really good. And when you're not feeling too great and you want to replicate those great feelings without realising it, you're eating for self-reward. So that could be the second thing.
So essentially, bad food becomes the reward, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The third thing, tiredness. You know, if you're overtired, you're working late, instead of going to sleep, you want sugary foods that will give you some energy. And again, that can get in a negative cycle.
Yeah, the other thing, by the way, as well, is that when you're tired and as the night goes on, we have a hormone called ghrelin, and that hormone tells us that we're hungry. That actually gets elevated later in the evening. So that also has an impact, which is why if you're really tired that you overeat. So you've got to try and get those early nights in to stop you from overeating.
So really, you should finish your meal at 7, 8 p.m. at night and then go to bed, and you shouldn't stay up longer than that, because there's a point, isn't there, Eva, where you've had your evening meal, you feel okay, and then if you stay up a little bit too late, then you want to start snacking.
So another reason why you might overeat is if you're suffering with some sort of anxiety disorder or depression, and then the food actually counts and acts as a quick fix for a short period of time. So it's a short-term solution as self-medication.
Also, if you've got low self-esteem and unconsciously, because of that, you want to punish yourself or you want to self-sabotage how you look, again, you can turn to food.
Another reason that you might overeat is simply because it's a learned behaviour. So you're copying behaviour. So if you've come from a household where portions are big and the kind of foods that you will eat were maybe high in fat, high in sugar, then you will replicate that. So a cause is actually copying.
And you can also be told when you're living at home, clear your plate, which is obviously a major thing.
Yeah.
The next one is heartache or loneliness. If you've experienced a breakup, and especially if it wasn't something that you instigated, you will feel lonely, and very easy to turn to food in those situations.
A repercussion of substance abuse, maybe taking drugs or drinking alcohol, can actually be then that it leads on to overeating. So, for example, when you've had a drink and then you go home, you would probably eat and overeat a lot of things you wouldn't normally eat when you hadn't had a drink. And the next day, when you've got a kind of hangover, that also promotes unhealthy, sort of the urge to eat unhealthy food.
One thing that we can all fall into is having food as a void filler. We get those times where, I don't know, sometimes even when we're bored, we can turn to food just to lift our mood a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So, and the final cause, number 10, is protection. And what we mean by that is that we've come across people in our clinic who have actually eaten to protect themselves. Now, that might be because they don't want to have their heart broken, so as to protect themselves from somebody falling in love with them or finding them attractive and them having to address that and face that, they overeat as a protection mechanism to try and make themselves unattractive to others. Or perhaps we've also worked with people and helped people in our clinic who have overeaten because to them they've created this thought process that being big equals safe because they were bullied or that they were abused in some way. And another thing that you might do is you might self-sabotage as well. So, you know, if you've got low self-esteem, for example, then you could self-sabotage with overeating too. So those are the primary causes of overeating. If, you know, we really hope that something there has resonated with you, because obviously the starting point to addressing anything is to understand why it started. So if you've enjoyed that, if that's resonated with you, then you know, do please give us a like, subscribe to this channel, because we will be sharing lots more films on how to address different causes of overeating.
And if you want to address your cause of overeating, you may want to check out our book, Winning at Weight Loss. This covers all sorts of reasons why you could be overeating, but also gives some potential solutions, and it's available on Amazon.